The Smorgasbord Radio Show.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Chris, and this is the Smorgasbord Radio Show, something we like to call the SmorgShow Podcast for short. This is episode 127, recorded September 3rd, 2021. And for the first time since I think, episode 5 maybe, I am doing this by myself. Normally, I like to have a partner to bounce ideas off. Because I don't want to hear my voice the whole time. This is a little different. This is not really a true episode. If this is your first time listening to us, this is not what you would typically hear. This is a variety show. The Smorgasbord Radio Show, Smorgasbord, a variety of topics, whatever. Goes back almost 40 years to my days in high school, doing the Smorgasbord Radio Show with Dave Jackson. After a 25-year hiatus of doing the radio show, I relaunched the show back in 2011 with my daughter, Allie, and it's been a podcast ever since, off and on, sometimes more consistently produced than others. We had some years where we kind of dropped off and only did a couple of episodes, and then we had a relaunch, and we did many. Allie grew up. She went off to school. She moved out on her own, leaving her dad to fend for himself. So I brought the old gang back, Dave Jackson, Jerry Malauskas from the old radio show days, and we've been doing a lot of shows ever since. The reason why I'm putting this out today by myself is to give an update that we did not go away. We didn't just drop off the face of the earth. It's been a 2-month period since we last had a show. Allie was out here on the last episode giving us an update on her upcoming wedding, which is scheduled for 48 hours from the time I'm recording this on Sunday, day before Labor Day. And it's been a very emotional time. Obviously, lots of things have been happening here from an organization standpoint, getting ready for the wedding. But also, my wife did not want me to have any guests out here for a little while because we're renovating the house, upgrading some things. And, usually when Jerry comes out here to do the show, he stays overnight because he's from the city, and we do a show at night, and he just wants to stay overnight. And so basically, the house has been off limit to guests. So we haven't done the show like we normally do. But I thought it would be just good to just put this out there as a final record of my thoughts leading up to my daughter's wedding. Obviously, my only daughter, my only child, growing up to a point now where she's going to be somebody's wife. It's a very emotional time. And I'm going to share all those thoughts in my father of the bride speech / toast on Sunday. And it'll, of course, be recorded. And I think I'm planning on the next episode to actually airing it here. So I will save all my juicy tidbits for that. But things are going well. Now, we've had a couple of obstacles, things that were not expected. One thing after another. It's like, man, what else could go wrong? Obviously, there's been health issues with some family members. They can't make it out at the last minute. Travel restrictions, travel concerns, people fearful of the virus and not wanting to be out anywhere, even though we're going to have this at an outdoor venue. It's a beautiful area. It's a farm. Lots of ventilation. It should be safe for people, but I understand we have older parents. They may not want to, or older relatives that may not be able to make it out, whatever. But the last thing we expected was a hurricane, Hurricane Ida, making it up the coast and putting Newark Airport completely underwater. New York City, state of emergency. About 11 inches of rain, water dumped on Newark Airport in about an hour. So all the runways were underwater. No flights were taken off. And of course, our family's supposed to be coming out today. So we're panicking that these are like key family members, grandparents of the bride. It's like, okay. Good news is that just before I got on the show, the episode, I got a message saying that flight is on its way. So thank God that we've got some luck on our side. But then we were worried about one of Allie's bridesmaids also coming in from the east. I don't know if it was Massachusetts or possibly somewhere up there, northeast. And she couldn't get on her flight yesterday because everything was canceled. But she safely landed today. It's like, okay, that's done. But then we got a call an hour ago from her other bridesmaid saying she sprained her ankle. It's in a splint and she's not going to be wearing high heels. So she needs her dress altered. She needs this, what do you call it? The hemster. No. The hemstress. The seamstress. That's it. The seamstress. See, this is why I need a partner to call me out on grammatical errors, words that don't exist, whatever. The seamstress to bring her dress. Is it up? Down. Down? No. Wait. She doesn't have her high heels on anymore, so she's going to be lower to the ground. That means the dress has to come up. Got it. Okay, I'm all set. I'm a little frazzled right now, okay? So that's the last thing we need to worry about, 48 hours outside of a wedding. But that's where we are. The venue is going to be beautiful. It's at a farm. Allie described it on the last episode. They have horses that they race at the Kentucky Derby. We went to the rehearsal last night, and it was very emotional walking with Allie, doing the walk. It's going to be a very dramatic walk. Allie has picked all the music because of her music background. She picks these obscure classical pieces, and the wedding coordinator was asking, okay, because she's going to be working with the DJ to make sure the music is played at the right time and the right places in the ceremony. And she asks, okay, what's the song? And she's like, well, it's German. And she gives like the name, and she's like, I don't know how to spell that. I'm just going to abbreviate this. And the nerd that Allie is with the music, only she knows these pieces. But no, it's supposed to be pretty dramatic as the two of us are walking from the distance, coming toward the people, the attendees, approaching it that way, as opposed to the traditional way of coming from the back. So people will see us on this long walk through this farmland, and it should be a very emotional time for me. I've got my hanky ready to go. So that's that. And what else could I say? Oh, and of course, I've got the father of the bride speech, the speech / toast, almost committed to memory. I have it on my mini iPad just as a backup. I think I can pretty much get through it. I might have to look down a few times. But if you remember, if you were listening a couple of episodes ago when Dave was out here, we were going through my research on how to give an effective father of the bride speech. Things to say, things not to say. Obviously, you don't want to drop the F-bomb. Not a good thing for, especially for all to be captured for eternity on the video and all that. No. But how to acknowledge somebody, not to go on and on about how wonderful your daughter is, all the trophies and awards that she's had, because half the audience is there for the groom. They don't want to be bored by me going on about the bride. But you also have to say some nice things about the groom. So of course I do that. So I will be playing that on the next episode. But the one thing I did last night at the rehearsal was I took a scope of the layout of the venue, the hall. It's like a big tent, but I wanted to see where the dance floor was, where the head table was, where, the bride and groom will be sitting, where the parents are lined up. Because I want to be able to, when I'm acknowledging the pastor or acknowledging, my wife or whatever, I want to be able to know where they're sitting. And I have a good feel for where everybody is now. But the thing I wanted to call out is the professional in me of the radio background that I've had for 40 plus years. The thing that I noticed was how the speakers were positioned over the dance floor relative to where the DJ stand is, where I'll be standing initially with the wireless mic. But I'm not going to want to stand way back there away from the head table, because when I want to say something personal to Allie, I want to go up, I want to approach the head table, and I want to go up to the table when I'm talking to the groom's parents. But the way the floor is positioned, I'd have to actually cut underneath the speakers, which are aimed down at the dance floor, which would just emit that high frequency pitch, that feedback that you get when the speakers are up too loud. So I am going to meet the DJ tomorrow or Sunday, and I'm going to call that out to him and say, hey man, take it from me. My experience tells me that this might not be a good thing for me to cross underneath these speakers. So could you kind of keep an eye out for me and maybe turn the volume down? And hey, he may one-up me. He may say, well, I'm actually really in the business, and I've got you covered. or you don't have to worry about it because it's these kinds of speakers and no, whatever. But it'll let him know that I'm onto him and I'm watching him, and he needs to watch my back. From one DJ to another. We look out for each other in the business. So that's about it. I don't think I have any other update. I just mainly wanted to get this out there as an episode. Again, this is not our typical episode, but it is one that, for the record, expressing my thoughts leading up to the big day. I think in the next episode, we're going to go on a well-deserved vacation after this is over in a couple of weeks. So my guess is our next show is going to be sometime in October. We'll probably do an Oktoberfest like we do every year, and that will be a way to kickstart the show again for the fall season. We're in what is this? This is our 41st season. I don't know how many seasons, how you even count seasons when you do 3 episodes here and 5 episodes here and you take a year off. But we're keeping the thing going because we love this show. We love sharing, our lives with you. And, it is a variety show. That's what Smorgasbord stands for. SmorgShow Podcast. I don't know if I said it already. But that's about it. So I'm going to close the show and we are going to be back, again, very soon. Let's see here. Where's my clothing theme? There we go. All right. So once again, Smorgasbord Radio Show, SmorgShow Podcast. This is episode 127, and we'll be back again very soon. Our phone number, 312-95-SMORG, S-M-O-R-G. And our email address, if anybody uses email at all anymore, it's feedback@smorgshowpodcast.com. And we try to answer every email we get. So send it in. And we'll be back soon. Thank you so much for supporting us and hanging in there while we do life together. All right, take care.